Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 449 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Some updates about yesterday. I know yesterday I was talking about how people were kind of arguing about how a Superman movie was supposed to be made, and a lot of verified checks. Even today, even today, they're still talking about a movie that, there's still some that says this should be more fun, more funny, and Donner type. Of course, this is kind of a response to some verifieds who actually talked about the Superman movie that kind of already came out, like in 2013 and 2016, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, in terms of, the immigrant story, pure hero in a muddied world. What else? He smiles. I'm getting so far ahead, but they've already made that movie, and to make that kind of clear, Shiraz Ferrucci from Comic Book Debate has put this article out on Screen Rant. Warner Brothers shouldn't struggle making Superman relevant. Man of Steel already did it. And he goes into great detail in this article. You should click on this article link in the description below to read this. Deserves a lot of clicks, and please share it as well. It does get into a little bit of Justice League as well, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and it's really a really good article. And to the point, I think it kind of spawned other sites to do kind of the same thing. Man of Steel already told a relevant Superman story for the modern generation. This is coming from comicbook.com, and they listed it right here. Immigrants, minorities, LGBT, anyone who feels like an outsider in any way from a normal society, and that's true. I mean, there's so much things you can take out from this story from Zack Snyder's Superman arc, right? And it's not complete. It's not complete, but it's you can bring so much of it. You can relate to it. There's so much relevance in terms of modern society now. How you relate as a person who's like a loner, in fact, and or an immigrant, and it has so many things you can pull out from it. Even a Christ-like a story to it. That's also acceptable as well. In fact, the Christian community kind of actually does very much enjoy like Man of Steel. So I think this is such a groundbreaking, not even a groundbreaking, but it's just such a relatable, relevant story for a modern age that it still boggles my mind how none of these verified checks or critics or something can look past their own nostalgic curse. That they can't look past the red trunks. They can't look past all that to capture and really appreciate the story that Zack Snyder was trying to tell with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and hopefully, the Snyder Cut. So, I'm hoping more people jump on board, kind of realize the movie that they got back in 2013, and realize that this is indeed the modern Superman and something we should actually very much kind of bring in and say, let's make more of it. Let's continue this story and how it should be, and not be afraid to question the hard questions, or answer the hard questions, or actually not be afraid to go into directions that has never been gone before. And so I'm glad that some people at least are getting on board with this idea of the modern Superman. And to update from yesterday as well, in terms of Slay Oliva, striking back, where he said pretty much everyone from the OWB regime is gone. There's no nefarious plot to keep it hidden. Money is money. It being the Snyder Cut of Justice League. That's the context you can take away from this. Mark Hughes actually did pitch in now today, and he said this: I keep trying to tell these folks, new owners, plus new CEO, plus new streaming service, plus movie nobody's seen that's sitting on a shelf, plus intense discussion and interest and big fan base, time to get that delicious free money. Are you Are you listening, Warner Brothers? Are you listening now? Are the new regime, it's time to melt away that ego and collect those checks, right? Collect the money that is the Snyder Cut. We fight for different reasons for the Snyder Cut, large reasons, and different. The movement is a collective of the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, justice for the cast and crew, justice for Zack Snyder and his family. It's all for Autumn Snyder, and also a business sense as well. I mean, just everything is looking up. Everything just makes sense for the Snyder Cut to come out, and it will. So I'm glad that Mark Hughes has kind of turned a leaf within this past year and finding a newfound knowledge about the Snyder Cut and a newfound fight for the Snyder Cut, and I think that is awesome. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Batman because, and I think it has come up here and there, but USA Today has talked a little bit about Robert Pattinson, talking about the Batman. Batman star Robert Pattinson says the Dark Knight is not a superhero. What? Okay, well, here's why. Robert Pattinson is reigniting an age-old comic book debate. Is Batman a superhero? I don't know if that's an age-old comic book debate. I don't feel like that's a debate at all, but we'll keep going. The 33-year-old actor who's set to play the Cape Crusader in director Matt Reeves' upcoming film, The Batman, shared his thoughts on Batman's superhero status while appearing on today's show, Sunday Sit Down segment. Batman is not a superhero, Pattinson told host Willie Geist. It's weird. I always balk at it. It doesn't count. You'll need to have, magical powers or something, okay? Batman doesn't possess any inhuman abilities, unlike his DC Comics counterparts Superman and Wonder Woman. Instead, Bruce Wayne relies on his riches, intellect, and high-tech gadgets to fight crime. I mean, he's got a cape, so that's a pretty good start, Geist added. Pattinson allowed, yeah, the cape is there. I give you that one. Before I go on any further, I want to give you my first thought when I read this. Okay, the first single thought that I read this is wow. It does sound like a person on the street who has never really read any comics and actually tries to give his opinion about a comic book character without actually knowing a little bit more about it. I mean, that's just my first real take from that. Seeing that it's like this part here, it's like my sister would say. Not that she doesn't appreciate the superhero, she knows about that. It's just like she doesn't care too much about it. It's like someone on the street that doesn't care about it. And you ask, "Who's Batman?" And it's like, I don't know, some dude in a cape. It's like, but a lot of people would say he's a superhero. But the part that gets me when he says you need to have magical powers or something, right? And when you're into the comic book territory, magical powers and metahumans are all different. There's different. Superman doesn't have magical powers, I'm gonna go comic booky there because it is, at least for a lot of the different, and maybe he hasn't read up on it. Granted, other people like Ben Affleck would probably understand that. Superman don't have magical power. You don't have magical powers to be a superhero, and then you can go into a little bit deeper and say, hey, super doesn't exactly mean inhuman abilities. I mean, he does kind of an innate inhuman almost intellect, right? He's very good at solving crimes, he's very smart, and that is something a super, and he also has trained himself. He went all over the world to train in all different martial arts and stuff like that. He has, as a mortal person, he has an human ability to fight with that combat. So I get what he means by it's not technically, he's right. He's not a meta-human superhero, but I just think that comment about magical powers or something, it sounds like someone who's not very interested in the comic aspect of Batman. So, but I digress. Let me continue here. Um, Technical superhero or not, in the upcoming film, Pattinson's Batman will join forces with Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, to bring vigilante justice to Paul Dano's Riddler and more. Pattinson wants the film to do well, but is hoping for more manageable success than his Twilight super fame, which spawned diehard fans worldwide over his dreamy portrayal of vampire Edward Cullen. I mean, there's a part of me that just thinks it's impossible to be what happened with Twilight, because it was just so sudden, and now I'm hoping won't be people hanging outside my place. I just think I'm kind of boring and old now. Well, you're going to be in for a big surprise, because Batman is such a huge character. You'll probably have different people hanging around your place, I think. But for the most part, Batman is a very big, giant, popular culture. And maybe not so popular with the teeny bopper girls and stuff like that. But it could still be quite something for Robert Pattinson once he dons the cape and cowl. So, but my biggest takeaway from this is that comment, and I get it. It's starting to feel like it possibly that this is not going to be the Batman show movie you probably expect. You probably thinking it's something maybe almost grounded like a Dark Knight trilogy or something. I'm starting to wonder if this is going to be more like Joker, meaning it's a character study rather than a comic book story. That's why Robert Pattinson agreed to be in this movie, for that reason alone. Like, it may be more of a drama with the comic book aspect after, instead of comic book first, drama second. So, Christopher Nolan blended that well. He got that comic book aspect and included the genre, the drama to it. Joker is like a drama, psychological drama first, comic book aspect second, which is nothing wrong with that. I think that can incredibly works very well. Joker worked very well, and it could work very well for Matt Reeves, the Batman. But for people who are expecting I don't know, a Batfleck replacement, you're not going to get it here. Like, Batfleck is still probably going to be the ultimate Batman we've ever had on screen. And I think Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman is going to be something people will be kind of like, that's an interesting take. I think critics and, a lot of people who love drama and stuff like that would definitely enjoy this movie. And I'm speculating here. I have no idea. When the movie comes out and it's everything we ever wanted, then yes, that's awesome, because we want a great Batman story. Although I'm kind of tired of Batman, I would rather have more Superman. But anyway, I think it will still work, and I believe it'll still work. But it just gets me that one line where it's just, you need to have like magical powers or something. It sounds very much like someone who doesn't quite care for the comic book aspect of the character, rather than he really, really wants to give his own take with the idea of it being a character study rather than a comic book character study. I don't know if that you understand what I'm trying to say here, but I tried my best. Anyway, let's move on. Brazill Comic-Con CCXP 2019 is coming down this week. Of course, we're going to have Birds of Prey first on December 6th. That is a Thursday, right? I'm pretty sure. Well, it's a December 6th for that one? Okay. So that's interesting. I thought it was going to be on a Thursday. It looks like it's going to be on December 6th. Unless the time difference is that's the 6th on Brazil. I have no idea. But December 6th, Facebook Live Q&A with director and cast. Submit your questions. This actually could be the day after the actual Birds of Prey panel, which is going to be live on Twitter. I believe, unless that's only for saved for Wonder Woman 1984. But that they're going to have a 1 hour panel for Birds of Prey on Thursday, I believe, right? And this one is going to be a Facebook Live Q&A, so you can actually submit your questions. Tune in to Facebook Live on this December 6th and comment below. And if you have any questions that you want to ask for Birds of Prey, of course, when you come down here, you're seeing a lot of release the Snyder Cut stuff here. Well, not too much actually. People kind of refrain. Well, there it is. I'm very wary about this movie. It looks amazing. The aesthetic of it, how it's the shots and stuff like that, the coloring and everything. Still very wary on the story aspect of it, but I would like to see their next trailer and maybe see what they have coming for this movie. So that is coming on Thursday, and I guess Friday is going to be the Q&A. Next one is Wonder Woman. This one's a big one. So join Wonder Woman 84 live at CCXP. Submit your questions for the live stream now. So remember I talked about how they were going to have a live stream, live Twitter feed on the giant screen in the back, and that I was kind of like wondering how that would work, especially with people who can't help themselves and cuss all the time. But also, if they want to keep certain comments off the live stream, we got our answer today. It's submit your questions now, meaning they will filter through all these questions under this and decide what to put out on screen. So they are taking that initiative to kind of silence the questions and stuff that they don't want appearing on the live stream. So unfortunately, that means a lot of our release of Snyder Cut is not going to make on there. And oh boy, is there a lot. Boy, is there a lot. So that's kind of okay, I guess, for the panel if they want to keep everything Wonder Woman 84, but it kind of just the filtering is just it kind of takes it away. Like when they say it's live stream, your feed is online, and yet even though I question it, I could totally understand why they did this. At the same time, it's not actually live. They're picking your questions now before actually putting it on screen. So there's that. Gal Gadot did a little message for the Wonder Woman 1984 in promotion of this, and here I'll share it with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Gal Gadot. I'm here to let you all know that something very exciting is coming your way this Sunday, December 8th. You can get in on the action before anyone else by commenting below with a photo of your fiercest Wonder Woman pose. Then tune in right here to watch it all unfold. See you Sunday.
All right, so there she says it's use hashtag #WonderWoman84 CCXP and tweet us your power pose under this Wonder Woman tweet here, or I guess you can just tweet at them. Of course, we have a lot of good. Oh, look at Chris Ronaldo here. Nice. Yes, there is a lot of release of Snyder Cut here. Mark Hughes getting in on the pose action here. A lot more release of Snyder Cut. I mean, at this point, they should really see what people are really asking for at this point. I mean, seriously. But there are people who are doing Wonder Woman 1984 poses. That's awesome. Look at that. Look at that. So if you want to, get involved with that, to go ahead and get under this tweet and do that pose. That this Sunday is going to be Wonder Woman 1984. And something else that I thought was really interesting, and I'm very curious about this. And this is right here. Luis Fernando says, keep in mind about CCXP. Before Wonder Woman 84 panel, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, there will be a Warner Bros. 2020 panel as well at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, 1 whole hour before Wonder Woman 1984. This is a mysterious one, and phones won't be allowed. Warner Bros. Will unveil their stuff for 2020. HBO Max, anyone with exclusive material for CCXP. Of course, I retweeted it out with and people automatically think I'm thinking about the Snyder Cut. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. It is in like a big fraction of my mind, but I'm keeping my mind open and not expecting too much of this, okay? Well, it's saying Warner Brothers 2020 panel. It's not saying DC panel. Okay, it's calling it a Warner Bros. 2020 panel. It's an hour. There's a lot of projects Warner Brothers is working on, and possibly even surprises we don't even know about. Like, there's got to be Godzilla versus Kong. There's possibly, I don't know, a Scooby-Doo movie. There's possibly a Harry Potter type of movie. I don't know what number we're on now. There's also, I don't know, there's a lot of different Warner Brother films. There's Dune. Dune is part of that as well. So I wouldn't try to get too excited if it's anything related to SC at this rate. Like I said, until we see like Zack Snyder outside of Brazil, then maybe a little freak out. Maybe a little bit freak out. But right now, don't freak out too much. Calm down, because it's a 1 hour Warner Bros. 2020 panel. It could be from it's HBO Max. It could be teasing, I don't know, Perfect Strangers on their streaming service. It's like, let's not get too excited. Although it is a mysterious one and phones won't be allowed, so I don't know if we're going to even hear about it. Like, are they going to tweet about it or things after the event, or are they saying phone cameras not allowed, which every phone has a camera. So I don't know how we're going to know what's going to happen at this panel at all. Like, it's going to be exclusive for the CCXP. And like some people said, if it's going to be a Snyder Cut, they're going to want to tell the entire world. So in that aspect, it may probably not be a Snyder Cut. But in any case, it is interesting and kind of exciting at the same time. This is our opportunity to have Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2019, that we never got to have at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. So we're going to get it now at CCXP. I will probably be doing a live chat, looking on Twitter. I'll probably have the video up where you can actually see my screen and stuff like that, what I'm looking at, which is different from the other year where I did the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm going to do a Brazill CCXP, and it starts at my time, 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. That would be at 9:30 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time on Sunday, this Sunday, 12/8. So I'll just turn it on, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens at on Sunday at the Warner Bros. 2020 panel. If we can see it, if we have any interesting things coming out of that, and also the Wonder Woman 1984 panel. And maybe we'll watch the trailer together. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. Just letting you know, my next video after you watch this, it's going to be a Loot Crate video. Loot Crate sent me another box, and I'm just going to do one for that. So I'll release that in the morning. Just letting you know, it's nothing, it's just a Loot Crate video. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.